Hello everyone, welcome to Learn with AI. In my previous video, I went over a step-by-step guide that was generated by ChatGPT when it comes to buying your first home in Canada. What step individuals need to take, as well as what government incentive there are when it comes to buying a house. So I wanted to create a similar video for the US viewers. Again, the information that's captured here, as well as the presentation that you see, are generated by ChatGPT, and this is for informational and educational purposes only. And you're advised to do your own research before making any financial or decisions. Thank you. So let's go over step by step to buying your first home. At a high level, you want to check your budget to make sure that you have enough budget to put it down toward your down payment, as well as to be able to account for other payments, the interest, maintenance fee, utilities, property tax, etc. Next step is um, to get a pre-approved for a mortgage, and then once you know how much you would be qualified for your mortgage pre-approval, then you can find a real estate agent and then start finding a house that fits your criteria. You can make an offer, and then you can do an inspection to make sure that there's no major damage, and then you can finalize your loan and then hire a real estate attorney to close the deal and then take the ownership of a house. Some of the mortgage basics is more of a guidance, I guess. For down payment, you want to put down at least 20% to avoid a PMI. I noticed there's quite a lot of acronyms here. We can go over, we can define such terms in the next slide here, so please bear with me. So for down payment, you want to put down at least 20% to avoid, I guess, additional cost through PMI, and then FHA allows as low as a 3.5%. PMI is required if your down payment is less than 20%. Mortgage rates in the US based on June 2025 data is for a 30-year fixed, you're looking at around a 6 to 7%. 15-year fixed, you're again looking at a little shy of 6%. And then what's called a ARM, you're looking at 6.1 to 7.1%. So when it comes to fixed versus variable rate, this is more of a guidance. Fixed is considered stable. Variable is a early savings, future risk. And then some of the acronyms that we discussed in previous slide. FHA stands for Federal Housing Administration. VA is Veterans Affairs Loans. USDA is a U.S. Department of Agriculture loan. PMI is a private mortgage insurance. ARM is a adjustable rate mortgage. HOA is a homeowners association. And for the first-time home buyers in the U.S., here we have some of the incentives that you can be qualified for. So FHA loans allows you to put as low as a 3.5% down as a mortgage, and then VA loans is for veterans, no down payments required. USDA loans, again, 0% down. I believe this is for rural, and then home ready or home possible. Not too clear what it is, but you can do some more digging to find out if you qualified for this incentive, but it allows for a 3% down payment. And then there's also a state and local grants, which you can check your state. And then there's a 15K tax credit that has been proposed but has not been finalized yet. And some of the tips for first-time home buyers are improving your credit score. Want to make sure that you pay your any credit bills on time and then reduce usage. You want to understand the total cost of owning a house. There's a mortgage, then there's taxes related to owning a house, insurance, HOA, and then repairs. Then you want to get a mortgage pre-approved before buying a house. It gives a sentiment to the seller that you are seriously considering to buy a property. And then use a buyer's agent, which is free and helpful. And then don't rush, make informed decisions. So that was a quick slides, a high-level overview of first-time home buyers in the US. So now I'm gonna switch gear and then show the conversation that I had with ChatGPT when it comes to buying a house for the first time in the US. So let me scroll up there, and then there were some key links that ChatGPT provided, and then again here are some of the prompt question that I asked. Please note that I previously created a video about first time home buying in Canada, and then I'm continuing a conversation with ChatGPT and asking it to provide a similar type of a explanation, but this time providing a step for first time home buyer in the States. So again here, this is some of the prompt that you can give to ChatGPT to help answer whatever question you may have. Provide the same sequence of information, but now based on what is applicable to the US. Remember, you're communicating this information to the YouTube viewers who needs to know key information when it comes to buying a house for the first time, and then share some tips and additional information that they would want to know as a first-time home buyer. And then, so now we're kind of getting more detail into each slide that we looked at. I want to check your budget. Average US home price is 300K to 400K. Again, this varies widely by state. Cheapest is in West Virginia at around 150K, and then the most expensive is at California, which sits around 800K. And then don't forget about other costs associated with tax, insurance, maintenance, utilities, and HOA fees. Then you want to get a mortgage pre-approval, and then you want to gather your credit history, income docs, and proof of assets. And then you want to shop around, whether it is banks, credit unions, or mortgage brokers, whichever entities are offering the lowest interest rates. And then the reason why we want to consider getting the pre-approval is because it gives you a solid price range, so that when you're on a house hunt, you know what price range you can consider for buying a house based on your pre-approved mortgage. Then you want to find a real estate agent who can help you locate the homes, handle offers, and negotiate, all at no cost to you. I think that's an important note for buyers. Then you want to start house hunting. What other factors are you considering? In what location are you trying to buy? Do you have any kids? Are there schools that your children may be attending in a few years? What about your commute to work? How safe is the neighborhood? What is the condition of the home? And then nationwide, prices are cooling due to high rates and weak supply. Not all cities follow the trends, so research your market. So here are some other links that you can check. I think this one is interesting. Market Watch: will mortgage rates and home prices go down next year? So you can check these links. And then you can make an offer and inspect. Include contingency like financing and inspection. Home inspections can save you from unexpected repair costs. So it's also important step to do an inspection before you finalize a deal. And then finalize mortgage approval. Mortgage rates as of June 2025. We went over this before. And then there are some government options that you can qualify for that allows you to put down a lower down payment. And then you want to find the lawyer, which is critical in many states, and then they handle contract, title searches, and closing. And then closing process, you want to pay down the closing cost, which is around a 2 to 5% of your home price, and then this includes your attorney, title insurance, and recording fees, and then review and assign final documents, and then there you have it. You can move into the first home. Some tips when buying a house. So down payment, again, you want to avoid the PMI by putting down at least 20%. And then when it comes to fixed versus variable rate, uh, fixed helps you with the predictable payments. It's ideal if you expect the federal funds rate to rise in the near future. You may consider variable rate. Typically starts lower, better if rates fall. Current market favor fixed given ongoing rate volatility. Again, this is based on ChatGPT. And then you want to boost your credit score in following means. For first-time home buyers, there are other government incentives that offers you a lower down payment and flexible credit requirements. And then you can also check your local state programs for grants and any tax breaks that you can qualify for. Home insurance and location risk protect your investment. Premiums vary. Florida averages 6K per year due to climate risk. Yeah, so that is additional cost that you want to consider when you're buying a house when it comes to location risk. Here's a quick reference table. So in the US, the median home price, we're looking at 350K. Top price states is California. And then the interest rate for 30-year mortgage rate is at around 6 to 7%. 15-year mortgage rates 6%. Adjustable rate 6 to 7%. And down payment, you want to put down 20% if you want to avoid additional cost. And then first-time home programs, there were FHA, VA, USDA, and then local incentives. Insurance, it varies widely, and then it's going to be higher in disasters zones, as we saw from the Florida example, due to climate risk. And then it provided some more links, such as like what to expect in the rest of this year's housing market. So this could be an interesting read, and it's providing latest information related to this topic. And then I've also asked ChatGPT to define some acronyms that it used in the previous conversation. And then yeah, so here were some of the examples. So FHA, Federal Housing Administration, a U.S. government agency offering low down payment loans as low as 33.5% for qualified buyers, which is great for first-time buyers with modest credit. VA, Veterans Affairs, offers home loans with no down payment for eligible military service members and veterans. USDA offers 0% down loans for homes in qualifying rural and suburban areas, which is not just farms. So this is very interesting, and you may want to consider and check with USDA if you can qualify for this incentive. PMI is a private mortgage insurance. This is required if your down payment is less than 20%, protects the lender in case you default, but this is going to add to your monthly cost. So that would be the case if you're putting down less than 20% when you're buying a house. ARM, interest rates changes over time. So basically this is like a variable rate, often lower than fixed rate loans as at first, but riskier long term. Again, you can take it with a grain of salt. You can do your own research when it comes to deciding whether you want to proceed with a fixed 15-year fixed or 30-year fixed or variable rate when it comes to buying a house. And then fixed rate mortgage, in contrast to ARM, interest rate stays the same for the entire loan term. It's predictable and stable, most common option. pre-approval, a lender's conditional offer to lend you up to a specific amount based on your finances, make you a more competitive buyer. So again, before you buy a house, it is recommended for you to do a pre-approval. That way, when you submit an offer to whoever's trying to sell a house that you're interested in, it gives the sender uh, that you are more passionate and you're more interested in taking the ownership of that property. And then there were additional costs that you wanted to consider when it comes to buying a house on top of paying down that down payment as well as mortgage interest. There's a closing cost which amounts to about 2 to 5%. That's gonna be paid at the final stage of the home buying process, and then it includes the lawyer, appraisal, taxes and lender fees, HOA fees, homeowners association fees. There's a monthly and annual payments for condos or neighborhoods with shared amenities and services. So this would be the case if you're buying condos, which might be cheaper than buying a detached house, but there's going to be HOA fees that you have to consider. Contingency, a condition in your offer, like a home inspection or financing clause. It allows you to back out if things go wrong. So it is strongly encouraged for you to include some of the contingency claims in your offers so that you can back out if things go south. So some of the more in-depth government incentives for first-time home buyers in the U.S. FHA loan allows you to put low down payment as little as 3.5%, and then credit score flexibility. You can qualify with score as low as 580. And then if you're a veteran, there is VA loan, USDA loan, which we covered, and then there's also a Fannie Mae's Home Ready and Freddie Mac's Home Possible, which allows you to take loan with 3% down, lower mortgage insurance. And then there's a proposed first-time homebuyer tax credit, which was proposed by the Biden administration, which allows you to take a 15K first-time buyer tax credit, but it's not passed into law as of mid 2025. And then you can check it again on later date. So based on all this information, I asked ChatGPT to summarize the two previous conversations that we had. I'm not going to go over it as we went over it in detail in both the slides and the conversation that we looked at. And then this time I asked it to provide the PowerPoint, which we went over in the beginning. So this one is this exact slide that ChatGPT provide. I didn't create it. And then I also asked it to provide a downloadable checklist for a first-time home buyer in the US. When I opened it, it was more of a text file, so I asked it to provide a PDF version of a checklist, and then I have it saved here. Let me just open it up and see what items included in the checklist. So it's quite cool, professional, and let's just make sure that it goes over the items that ChatGPT mentioned. So for US, when it comes to budgeting and finance, you want to consider your total budget, down payment, as well as a monthly cost. You want to review your credit score, and then you also want to save for your closing cost, and then use a mortgage calculator to estimate the affordability, and then some other options when it comes to mortgage pre-approval, and then you want to compare lenders and rates, and then choose your team of a real estate agent who's going to help you find the first home. And then you want to start your home search, and you want to make an offer, and then you want to do the inspection and appraisal, and then finalize your mortgage, and then there's the closing process, and then after you move in, there are some other costs that you want to consider. I think this is a helpful checklist if you're interested in buying a home. I think what I'll do is I'll include this in the description. So there you have it. Again, the topic for today was tips on buying a house for the first time in the US and then leveraging ChatGPT for getting a high level guidance on what steps individuals need to take if you're interested in buying a house, and then if you have no previous experience and don't know how to buy a house, I think this will be a good guidance, and then you can do your further research. You can um, you can follow up on this conversation and then ask further question, and ChatGPT will even give you the link or summarize other data that it can find. So yeah, if there was any missing information or if there's anything that you'd like to add, if you have any feedback, you can drop in the comment section below. Please hit the like and subscribe to the channel so you can get informed on a future videos that covers wide range of topic that I'm learning in this journey with ChatGPT. I want to share my learning journey with you, and then I also want to empower you on your day-to-day task or research that you're doing, and leveraging ChatGPT, at least at a high level. If you need a starting point on a subject that you're not familiar with, I think this is a good starting point. AI is there to support us in our day-to-day task. So thank you. I wish you have a great day. Bye.